Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Anton Zachor, and this is the Anton Analysis, where we break down the meaning behind popular music and culture. And today we have a request from David, and this is St. Paul and the Broken Bones. Call Me. So apparently this is a soul group, and we're not going to be doing a full lyrical breakdown of this. We're at the end of the stream right now, and I don't think I have it in me to do a full half-hour analysis. So we're just going to be breaking down what I think about the music and the vibe and stuff. So it's not our usual thing. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
Call me.
Not expecting that dancing.
This ain't the hot air that I thought I knew.
Damn, dude.
This ain't the party that I thought we'd do. You got your living, baby. I got mine. 6'11", 3, 6, 9.
Damn, dude. What a voice.
We ain't the lovers.
Man, voices like that. God. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Bobby Bazzini. Have you ever heard of Bobby Bazzini? He's like one of my favorite artists, man. If you want a phenomenal song, check out Holding On to the Feeling and Under the Weight by Bobby Bazzini, C'est La Vie, Blood Thicker Than Water. Bobby Bazzini, I actually first found him on the TV show Suits, Suits has introduced me to a lot of phenomenal groups. I feel like this is a song that could be on the Suits soundtrack. But yeah, Bobby the reason why I bring him up is he's like the closest I think I listen to stuff like this, but this is good. This will probably end up making its way on one of my playlists, but let's go back.
We ain't the lovers.
Oh, that's good.
That'll tear it down.
I love how he moves too. He's just in it.
We ain't the fortune, no. Hot over this tiny. You got your living, baby. I got mine. 6'11", 3, 6, 9. Got to call me, baby. I need you to pick up that telephone. Dial numbers high.
So much passion, dude.
I need to hear your sweet voice. Let me.
I love how he moves.
Got to feel you now. Got to feel you now, no.
Almost like a little bit like Michael Jackson, almost.
No, got to know love. Got to know love. I need you, baby. I need you, baby. Got to be so picking up that telephone. I need you, baby. You got your living, baby. I got my 6'11", 3, 6, 9. Oh, baby, pick up that phone.
I love how he moves.
Got to call the doctor. Got to call the nurse. Somebody, say get hurt.
All right, so that was St. Paul and the Broken Bones. Man, David, that was a great request, man. I do not listen to enough songs like that. Well, I'm at a little bit of a loss for words. Man, like some people just have like a gift, you know? Like I feel like I think everyone can become a good singer, but it's like not everyone can become that. You know, there's certain singers, like there's like David Draymond of Disturbed, like you know, Amy Lee, Evanescence, Flora Jansen, Nightwish. You know, there's just some art. Jack Severetti is another one, just a phenomenal vocalist. You know, Bobby Bazzini, another one. Like, there's just some artists that, like, you know, is more than their voice. It's like it's their soul, it's their being. It's like they have a good enough voice that they can channel all of their passion through. Because, like, really, these people are like, everyone I've just shared are like born performers. It's like we think of them as their voice. You know, you think of David Draymond, you think of Amy Lee, you think of all of these artists. And it's like, you know, yes, they have undeniably phenomenal voices. But the other thing they all have in common is that when you see them live, like they like just lose themselves in their gift. It's like their voice is really just good. It's phenomenal enough to house their you know, like I almost want to like phenomenal soul, but like it's there must be a more eloquent way of saying that. Like these are people that just have so much to give. You know what I mean? And if you think about all these artists, a lot of them are incredibly sensitive people, incredibly sensitive, emotional, and they have a way of conveying all of the minute details of their being through their voice. And it just so happens, as I've said, that their voices are magnificent. And like this guy's one of those where like, it's also like his, you know, the way he moves, his dancing, like he's someone who he's not afraid to look like stupid. You know what I mean? And it's like when you get somebody who's just that unbridled in their self-expression, it's so liberating for all of us. Because like I know with me, like sometimes like I'll, you know, because like I love to dance, and it's like I really like to get lost in my dancing. I really love to dance. I feel like if you really, really love to dance, and I don't have any training in dancing. So it's like, for me, like if I'm going to dance, I'm going to fucking dance. And if I'm going to dance, I'm going to lose myself in my dancing. And it's like, for me, it's like I'll get self-conscious. Like I'll you know, just be like, yeah, it's like I can't half-ass it. I can't do the normal, you know, you go to the club and you just do like the cool dance. Like I don't do that. Like I full on, like I become the music, you know? And it's just like, yeah, you know, definitely in those crowds, like I can feel self-conscious. And I see somebody like this, I'm like, man, good for you, dude. Like he's also, you know, in a room with his friends. Like he's in a very comfortable place. But it's like, I just think about self-expression. I just think about how myself and so many of us are just so afraid to be weird, you know? Because I think we're like, maybe not all of us, but I think all of us, like I think we're all, yeah, when you think about the intensity of all of our emotions, like if we were really to fully commit to our feeling fully, you know, like really lose it, like we would be crossing into that weird territory, that socially unacceptable territory where your body moves and convulses, you know, in a way that is just not socially, there's no social etiquette for. And you know, yeah, there's definitely like a lot of me that yearns for that. And like, I feel like, you know, one of my biggest life challenges in my life and what my life is all about is I feel self-expression. Like even, you know, in numerology, my life path is like, yeah, you know, self-expression and creativity and leadership is all about my life path. And, you know, that's all about essentially, you know, not being someone who I've always had very, like when I was younger, I had a really hard time expressing myself and my feelings, my emotions, and my, like, I always felt like there was so much feeling in me. And I was like, if I was really to like let it all out, it would just, I didn't feel like it would be accepted by my peers or the world. And yeah. And I still notice, I still like hold myself back publicly. Like even in these reactions and everything I do, and I think it's normal. I think all of us do it. There's very few people who are just completely able to just say fuck it and just express themselves truly in the moment the way they really want to. But I know that will come for me. And I've got, you know, I just notice, and even, you know, doing some of these reactions lately to current event videos and culture videos is really, again, like it's me finding my voice and finding my courage to share maybe some of my unorthodox perspectives, my unorthodox opinions. Because in many ways, I am a very unorthodox person. Like when it comes to the things I believe in spiritually, you know, metaphysically, you know, and just, yeah, my emotional expression. Like when I was a kid, I used to be I was like laughing and giggling all the time. Like I was like slow to grow up. Like, you know, I was a kid. I was just like always like the class clown. And then it's like high school kind of like really kicked me in the ass. I'm like losing all my friends in grade 9 and kind of, you know, really like having the whole school kind of turned against me. It's like, it really like it, you know, grade 9 was a huge year where it's like, kind of like, I learned at that time, like, okay, it's like legitimately not safe to be myself. And I remember that's when I became very shy. And like, yeah, I became very careful, you know, not to bring too much attention to myself, where I'd be like ridiculed, called out, but like bullied, all that kind of stuff. And so in a lot of ways, like I'm still at this point in my life, still, like working my way through that nervous system wounding, because like that stuff, like it embeds itself in your nervous system, that fight or flight response. Like it was full on fight or flight. Like I was terrified of going to school. Like I thought I'd just get kicked the shit out of, you know what I mean? Like I remember like there were times where I'd like wake up and I'd just like faint, you know, my alarm would go off and I'd just be so like, I just so didn't want to go to school that like I'd just like faint, wake up like an hour later and just hope that like I could play it off like I had to stay home, you know? And it's like, so that is like, it embedded within me, that fear response, right? Of like, don't express yourself fully, because if you have enemies, those enemies will target that innocence, that vulnerability, that sensitivity, right? And so all this is to say, just like seeing this guy move and seeing how he expresses himself, it's like, man, good for you, dude. Like you are, yeah, you have got to a place in your self-expression that I am in the process of getting to. And all of it is just like learning to like love yourself and learning to really give up that idea of feeling like you have to be normal or that normal is good. And like you hear it all the time. You hear people say like, oh, you know, it's boring being normal. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's simple but challenging, because it's easy to say that, but when people have been, you know, bullied or hurt, and it's like when that has embedded itself in your fight or flight mechanism, it's like, yeah, like it takes a lot to override that. It takes a lot to feel safe within yourself, to feel safe within your self-expression. And especially too, like, hey, like I'm a public figure on the internet, you know, with, yeah, it's like, yeah, I have the entire world that could potentially call me out on how different or uncool I can be. You know what I mean? And it's just, yeah, for me, it's just like baby steps. It's just like slowly making, yeah, just little by little, like every month, every year, just feeling a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more comfortable. And I'm patiently awaiting that time when I'm fully called to completely be myself, because it will be a return to more kind of like what I was as a kid. Because yeah, my like I said, my main self-expression is extremely childlike. It's very just like fucking hysterical laughing and shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like just yeah, it's almost like the way that this guy loses himself in his singing and his dancing. Like my tendency is to lose myself in my delight, lose myself in my happiness. And it's like it literally is like childlike. And it's yeah, especially when you grow up in a Western society that is all about posturing. It's all about looking cool and yeah, walking into a crowd and having this princely air of confidence. You know what I mean? And then if you were to like, you do see it. Like my friend Tucker is like this. Me and him are very similar in that. And like sometimes like he's just like a fucking kid sometimes, and I love it because I'm like that. Like I see it as I'm like, oh, that's kind of like when I lost. And he's just like so much like a kid. Like we did a plant medicine ceremony together. It was like I think 8 of us, and that's when I met him actually. And yeah, he was like the only one where like just in this plant medicine, he just like became a kid, full on like giggling and laughing and like jumping up and down. And like, I was just like, whoa, I was like, oh, so that's what the extreme of my personality looks like if I was to fully embrace that. And I remember like, I was kind of like judging him. I was like part of me was like, you know, like there's this like that part of me that was angry at him for being able to express himself in the way that I feel like I can't anymore. I was like, get your shit together. You're like a fucking kid. And I remember there was a guy just in there. He was 42 years old, like handsome dude, and like very put together, like you know, authority. He just emanated leadership and authority. Very, very smart guy. And I remember me and him were talking after a ceremony, and we were talking about Tucker. And we ended up talking about that childlike thing. And Justin told me, he's like, dude, like in that ceremony, I was judging him too. Like I was angry at him and I was judging him because I had to give that up as a kid, because I had to be the man of the home. I had to be the man of the house, and I had to take care of the house. Maybe he had to take care of his mother. It was, I forget, but like, we just had this like deep bro conversation where like, he's like, it's so hard for me to connect with that part of myself. And yeah, it was just, you know, I think that was the first time I'd ever talked to somebody who like really got it and like was vulnerable and honest and authentic enough to really verbalize that. Because most people like they'll judge that, but they won't admit that they're truly judging it because they wish they still had it. And it was like, that was like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, holy shit, man, it's not just me. Like, yeah. And yeah, you know, both of us were just like, you know, thanks for being honest. Cause like, I feel less alone, and I also feel less, I didn't feel any shame. I just felt like, you know, I think there's just that feeling in all of us, that like loneliness of like, is anyone really just like me? Like you know, because all of us, like we have our shame, we have our demons, we have our fears and our insecurities, but none of us are courageous enough to share that openly. And so when you do find someone who has the authenticity and the courage to share their fears with you, it's like, it just creates such a bond. Like after that conversation, we just like had this like long hug. Like we really embraced each other in a thankful way of like, you know, thanks for sharing yourself. Thanks for giving up your, yeah, it's like your pride. Like in that moment, he fell off my pedestal, because up until then I was like, oh, he's the guy who has it all together. You know, he was a very successful personal trainer, physiotherapist, massage therapist. Like, he knew all this stuff about psychedelics, psychology, philosophy, you know, like all this stuff. And, you know, I was jealous of him. Yeah, I was jealous. I was like, I even told him, I was like, I'm jealous of your leadership, because like that's who I feel like I am deep down, but I haven't fully stepped into my power in that way. And I'm like, you kind of remind me of like where I'm going to be in, you know, 12 years. And it's just like, yeah, you piss me off, because like, you know, the way you commanded a room, and you know, that's actually what sparked his share. It was me admitting to him that I was jealous of him. And that's when he told me, and I'm actually jealous of Tucker, you know, because what I'm jealous of is the ability for self-expression that Tucker has. And it was just it was just a really beautiful moment. So all of it just comes back to this song. I'm just like, wow, you know, it's just self-expression, man. I feel like we're all just in our prisons of trying to keep up our appearances and trying to be lovable, and we think we're lovable only if we're normal, you know? Yeah, it's scary to fully be, truly ourselves, you know? But anyway, man, do any of you guys feel that way ever? Do any of you guys feel like you're in a prison of your self-expression? Feel like you're like locked in, you know, like locked in a prison that you put yourself in. And I feel like we're all on our journey, like getting out of our own prisons, you know, the prisons we put ourselves in to survive, and to survive society, survive our upbringing, survive our parents, survive our bullies, survive our relationships. Like, what if you were, you know, some of us have scars where we're in relationships and we maybe let out our true nature, and maybe our partner doesn't accept it. Maybe they break up with us for the popular cool guy. Like, you know, there's so many ways and reasons why we put ourselves in these prisons, you know. Yeah. Fear of being abandoned and rejected. Yeah. You know, what are your experiences with these kinds of things? Let me know down below. And so thank you, David, for this one, man. This ended up going a lot deeper than I was expecting, man. So thank you. And so if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to help out the channel and myself and the YouTube algorithm, definitely leave a like and subscribe if you like what we're doing. We have a podcast that we do on the channel, and we have the Anton Analysis show, where we break down podcast clips and music, and, you know, really get down to the my analysis of these things. Might not be the same as other people's analysis. A lot of the time, my analysis is much more psychological. Even if I break down topics that are very less psychological, I'll a lot of the time bring that psychological lens, and I'll even like break down the human being behind the information, like we do a lot. So if that sounds cool, definitely subscribe. And if you want to get in contact with me through social media, all my links are down below, including our membership platform and all of our exclusive content. More than 100 exclusive podcasts and hundreds of exclusive reactions, and more coming all the time. So yeah, links down below for those, and that's it. So see all of you in the next episode. I love you guys.